Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here today to launch our campaign for the UK Independence Party European elections, which happen on the 4th of June. And I'd like to welcome you all here. I'm sorry some of you couldn't get a seat or a coffee, but you know, it's one of those days. We actually have a situation here where we're very fortunate because the co-chairman of the club, Mr. Sullivan, is now backing the UK Independence Party. I'd like to read what he says in his letter. He says, "Dear Mike, this time we should use our vote wisely. I'm writing to say that I will be voting UKIP at the 4th of June European elections, and I advise others to do the same. The British economy is in deep recession. How can we continue to pay £40 million each day for EU membership? We should spend it on pensions, our schools, in our hospitals and improving roads. Look at the situation here in Birmingham. EU membership prevents us from controlling our own borders, and as a result our basic services are struggling to cope through lack of cash. It also makes 75% of our law, much of which is unsuitable for Birmingham and the UK. They have even moved into the areas of directives about football. UKIP is the only electable party who have not moved the goalposts. They consistently say Britain should pull out of the EU and regain border control and spend our money here. I'm voting UKIP on the 4th of June. Decisions affecting Britain should not be made in Brussels. They should be made in Westminster. Yours sincerely, David Sullivan, Birmingham City Football Club." Well, first I'd like to thank David Sullivan for that, and I'd like to remind you that we have other people supporting and telling us to, or telling the electorate to vote UKIP on the 4th of June, including people like Frank Carson, including people like Darth Vader. So our new slogan is now, "June the 4th be with you." Now, on that note, I'd like to introduce some of the other candidates here. And nobody's ever met the lady to my right before, but this Rustie Lee, you're fourth on the list, Rustie. Yes, I am, and it's a shame I'm fourth because I'm really hoping for a major landslide so I can actually get in. A lot of people try to put obstacles in the way by saying things like, "What are you doing in this party, Rustie?" They make all sorts of comments as such. And I'm in this party because I'm British, and I stand up for the British people, and I think it's absolutely wrong that we should join the EU, and I'm sticking up for Britain. Well done. That's what I'm doing. Well said, Rustie. And NIKKI Sinclaire is the second candidate on the list and will be elected along with me on the 4th of June.
I'm looking forward to giving the British people a say on the membership of the European Union. No one in this country has actually had a say because obviously the Conservative Party made us all citizens of the European Union in 1992. The only say the British people ever had was at the Common Market, during the Common Market in 1975, a retrospective referendum. So that means if you're 52 or younger, like myself, you've never actually had a say on any transfer of sovereignty from this country. So what I'm saying is, let's take the EU gag off, let the people decide, give the people a chance to say no to the European Union, then you shall vote UKIP on June the 4th.
And third on the list is Jill Seymour, who stands a chance of being elected if 50% of the votes come to UKIP. Jill.
Hi. This is about our country, not about politics. It also reflects on the British family who pay £400 a year to finance the European agricultural policy. And I think people are fed up and saying enough is enough. We cannot afford to be part of the European Union. Thank you.
And would you like to say a few words?
Certainly would. I'm Malcolm Hurst.
Malcolm Hurst. And
I can remember the original vote for the EEC in 1973 and 74, when we were told lies. And every government since then has continued to tell us further lies about membership. It was about a trading operation, not a political organisation. And now we're being we have been taken over unless we pull out. That's why I'm standing for UKIP.
Well said, Malcolm. Jonathan Oakton.
No, if there was one subject that galvanises rights so important for everybody to vote for UKIP at this European election, that would be probably the Royal Mail sell-off. It's been sold off because of European legislation. Both the Labour government and the Conservative opposition are joining together to pass this European legislation through. And I think we ought to vote UKIP to save the Post Office, the Royal Mail delivery service, and save it in perpetuity for the people of this country. If we keep turning our back on what's in front of us in terms of the EU legislation, then we're going to lose everything. So you must vote UKIP if you want to keep the Post Office.
As David Sullivan said, 75% of our law is made now in the EU. That was announced in the Parliament actually by Hans Pottering in about March this year. Since that time we've been congratulated on doing 900 votes in an hour. The President congratulated. That's apparently a record. It's normally about 400, somewhere up there. So you can see the European Parliament has made more law for Britain in 35 years than we've made for ourselves since 1485 in the Battle of Bosworth Field. And all that legislation has to be translated, all of that legislation has to be put into law, and that's why the cost of being in the EU is actually more than £40 million a day. That's the contribution. The on cost of it is calculated at more than £50 billion a year by the Taxpayers Alliance and also by the Bruges Group. So we have to bear in mind it isn't just what we pay, it's the on cost of being a member. And that's why UKIP say it's time to leave, it's time to run our own country and do things on a basis where one size doesn't fit all and the law fits the UK. Well, I think we can summarise it by saying we're going to win seats on the 4th of June. We had 12 MEPs last time. We're hoping for 20 at the rate we're going now. And I just hope that voters recognise that we are the only party advocating Britain's withdrawal. The other three parties act as one in the EU Parliament, and we are the opposition. Vote for the opposition, say no to the EU, and let's leave. Please lend us your votes. Thank you.